I mean, we have structured the meeting. We have structured the meeting such a way some of the people could join. Maybe in the next round, they'll be joining due to some work or other, they could not join. Even Samaniji will be hopefully joining. Without really taking much of your time, I'll request Professor Bhandari Saab to elucidate his point of view, and with a lot of work he has done. Very tremendous people. The chapter 2 in Scientific Pursuits in Jainism is an amazing chapter. I think it is not possible in the short time. I'm sure he is going to give the flavor of the whole hard work that he has put in. Professor Bhandari Saab.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Dr.
By our South Indian Tamil friends, I would like to introduce Dr. Bhandari Saab has been fantastic. He has been a great physicist, and now he has started the Jain Academy of Scholars. So he is really taking it forward with a lot of, I see the kind of annual report he has submitted is amazing. So I like to tell our Tamil friends that Bhandari Saab is a force himself, and he is taking it forward with the support of all others. With this brief introduction, I'll again request for Bhandari Saab to start his.
Thank you, sir. No, I like to clarify that this Jain Academy of Scholars is run by all the fellows and members. So it is not one person here and there. And I'm glad that everybody is taking a lot of interest. So last time we had a discussion on Anekantwad by Dr. Naveen Mehta and Monisha Mehta. And our Ashesha Ben has also been working on it. It's a very interesting topic. But I think, you know, I have been also trying to understand, I think most Jain scholars try to understand what Anekantwad is, because it is a very unique concept in Jainism. But they bring it to a certain level and leave it at that. According to me, it has a lot of potential. We can develop it, but nobody is virtually working on it. So that is a very painful situation. And there are a lot of, I mean, this is a round table, so we'll be critical. And I mean, I'll welcome any questions you can stop me and ask, because this is not a regular lecture in which a speaker talks and everybody listens. It is a participatory interactive meeting. So Anekantwad actually, according to me, I'm going to put my point of view and little bit strongly and ready to be refuted, because I am not really an expert on this. Consists of many things. One is Anekantwad itself. The other is Syadwad. The third one is Nayavad. And fourth one is Saptabhangi. So these four things together are called Anekantwad. So that is, I think, first mistake we have done. We have not defined what Anekantwad is, what Syadwad is, what Nayavad is. These have to be defined. And I think they have not been mathematically developed, although conceptually they have been discussed. But I think it is time that we take it up, and I think Monisha Mehta had started doing something, and I also heard a lecture from some other people. They are doing some little things here and there. So my purpose here is to prompt you to work together, and I think it has a lot of potentials. So Puriji, can I share the screen? With this little introduction, I would like to show some
you
slides.
And Dev Kumar sir both are co-hosts.
Okay. So as I said, you can see it, right? Okay. So there are Anekantwad, Syadwad, and Nayavad, and then of course the Saptabhangi, 7 modes of solutions to any problem. And then it has some similarity with quantum physics and application more or less only in the social and personal sphere. But I think it has, Anekantwad is so profound, but it has been trivialized. because it is only confined to bringing harmony to society and nations and all that. And there are two misconceptions I would like to point out. Anekantvad does not mean, like, you cannot stretch it to include falsification. So there is a truth and there is a falsehood, and they have to be distinguished. You cannot say Anekantvad should include both. I think that is a disaster. Even many scholars I talk to, whenever there is difference of opinion, they say, oh, this is your view, this is my view, and this is all Anekant. Particularly if they are Jains, they always bring in Anekantvad, but this is not true. I want to emphatically say, as I understand, that Anekantvad does not include falsification. It arises, please mute, Puri ji, mute kariye. So, if I say, for example, very trivial example I'll give, if I say this wall is black and you say it is white, then we can't say this is okay, we have our own views and this is okay. This is not okay. I want to make it sure. Secondly, this Syadvad has been interpreted as a what they call Sanshayvad or confusion, that nothing is clear, nothing is certain, nothing is absolute, so anything will do. But that is not true. The actual purpose, please forgive me for putting it very strongly. I mean, I want to provoke you to ask questions, and if I'm wrong, I want to be corrected. So this first problem we have at hand is to define all these things and clarify what they are, and then go into their application. So according to my understanding, which there are only three things in the universe. One is an observer, one is an object, everything else is an object, observer. You are the observer, one himself is the observer, and everything else, including other people, are objects. And so you have a Gyayak, you have a Gye, and then it is known by Gyan. So my understanding of this is that observer can look at different perspectives, and that is called Nayavad. He may have different frame of reference. And here I would like to give the analogy of relativity, where the inertial frame of reference decides about the motion of bodies. Similarly, a mental frame of reference is the hallmark of Naivad. And object, anything, has multiplicity of modes. That means it is changing every moment. That we talk of Karambadha Paryaya, and I will not go into this just now, but its mode is changing. So every object, this famous thing that Dravya Utpad Vyay, that means something is essence and something is changing all the time. So an object can be defined by, let's say, if it is Y, you can say it is equal to essence E plus mode, which is changing with time. So Y is equal to E plus M. M is for mode as a function of time. And exchange between the two, the knower and the knowable, is through knowledge. So that is Syadvad. So these three things, multiplicity of modes of substances, is Anekantvad. This is how I define it. If anybody can do it better, I would like to be corrected. And multiplicity of views, that is perspectivism, is Naivad, and Saptabhangi is actually coming under Naivad. Last time when we heard this lecture, there was, I think, some discussion that Saptabangi is Anekantvad or Syadvad. That is not true. What Syadvad says, according to, I have taken this from Acharya Amrit Chandra, is that there is not a single truth. The only truth in the universe is, which is unfolding. He uses the word Nipat. So the only truth in the universe is that there is not a single truth. You can't explain everything by one law, or one law is not applicable under all circumstances. So this is how I would like to define it, and let us proceed further. Now, the most important aspect of our this Jainism, Jain concept of knowledge is, in contrast to science, that science believes that there are only two aspects. One is known and other is unknown. And as we study and know about it, unknown will be converted into known, and finally there will be one point which will be, everything will be known. But Jainism doesn't say so. Jainism is very different. It says that there are three aspects. Instead of a straight line, you represent it by a triangle. Known, unknown, as in science, but there is a unknowable or indescribable. So you cannot know everything. Everything cannot be known except by Atindriya Gyan. So this is how there is a difference of approach. Now, so I will come back to it. There is a talk about Ananta Dharmita, that multiple or infinite swabhav of a thing, and limits of knowledge, and abadhyata. And you see, Anekantvad can be defined as the true nature of reality. It is not a doubt. It is because each real goes through an infinite number of modes at every moment. That is Ananta Dharmita. Then we have, as I said, x equal to E plus mt. And here I had some discussion with Munishi Mahendra Kumarji. So I think this part is authenticated. In fact, he explained it very nicely. And Acharya Amrit Chandra says that any real object in the world is existent or non-existent, one or many, eternal or non-eternal, describable and indescribable, neither this nor that, but both. That is, this as well as that, in terms of its nature. So how many things? Its nature has all these qualities. Time, it changes with time. Space, and it occupies space it occupies, and material it is made of. So this is quote I have taken from Acharya Amrit Chandra, and he is of so knowledgeable that I think there is no doubt about it. So only one can be pure. Since everything is an aggregate, it is impure. That is the understanding that if there is a purity, then it is one. Purity cannot be two. But if anything impure, and in this universe everything is impure, then or everything is an aggregate, then this multiplicity comes. And various people have described it as multifoldedness, multifacetedness, multi-layered, multi-sidedness, non-absolutism, relativism, multi-perspective view, perspectivism, contextuality, pluralism, coexistentialism, and in physics it is called complementarity. Complementarity, I will not go into detail here, but at microscopic level, all the properties are complementary to each other and enable us to understand a thing better. So this is how my understanding goes. And here I have compared complementarity with Anekantvad. This, of course, is a cornerstone of modern physics, and I think Niels Bohr used it, this Chinese symbol, which is yin and yang. Two fishes, one black and one white, one has white eye, another has the, you must be all familiar with it. And both together make it more complete. They are not opposite to each other, but they are complementary. So opposites are complementary. That is the lesson we learn from Niels Bohr. Now, now what is Syadwad? Having defined this, let us come to Syadwad. And जो सदा नियम का निषेध करता है, means it does not follow a single law and is non-fallible, is called Syat. That means, as I told before, the only statement one can make with certainty is that no proposition can be made with certainty. Now, this is a very serious thing, according to my understanding. And the seriousness is that how can this be certain when everything is uncertain? But this is how it is. But of course, let me remind you that it is not ambiguity, confusion, or uncertainty, but makes our understanding as certain and complete as it can be, because this is how the nature is. So nature himself, nature itself is not absolute, one truth, and that is how what this Syadwad is all about.
May I tell one thing just for clarification?
Ha, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
Welcome.
just come to the previous slide, this Syadwad. Yeah. Yes, just previous to this, yeah. So you mentioned that no proposition can be made with certainty. Instead of certainty, you can write with perfection.
Unfortunately, I am not able to hear your voice clearly. Can
Okay, let me see.
थोड़ा धीरे कर दीजिए तो अच्छा रहेगा, इको आ रही है.
Okay, just a minute. Sorry, just I am telling no proposition can be made with certainty. Instead of certainty, it would not be better if you use word perfection.
What is the word?
Perfection. Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfection.
yeah, well, you can say so. That is the same thing. I think uncertainty is opposite of.
Certainty includes uncertainty as well. But perfection means partly it is true from one point of view, from other point of view, it may be something different.
No, sir, no. There is no point of view here. It is the absolute truth from the real point of view. It is not because of personal point of view that I think it is like that. No.
No, not
This
personal.
is how the nature is. No, there is a little, I think this point needs to be clarified. You can put perfection there. I will agree with that. But it is not because of views. It is because how the nature is. Okay, is it okay? Can we proceed further?
Yes, please.
We can debate it more in later on, but I think at least I made my point.
Just
You
one thing
can replace with perfection.
can I say something?
Please.
Okay, so from particular point of view, whatever is being said about the reality, that is certain, that is not uncertain. But we are just taking one aspect or one what we say phase of reality, and we are not taking all other different aspects. So that's why it is an ekantic approach in that sense, that it is not denying other aspects or not overlooking, but it is focusing on one aspect at a time in particular time. So just you have to say that it is certain, it is not uncertain. Everything is not uncertain. We are taking just one aspect and we are certain about that. But there are some other aspects too, which can be opposite to it or different to it. And that's why it is said that we are talking about in this particular context, that this is this and not other thing. But in from other angle, it can be different. So we are certain in that particular aspect.
My understanding is that aspect comes in Naivad. This is irrespective of what aspect you are looking at. Things themselves are like that.
No.
Aspect only comes from
No,
the viewpoint of the observer.
It will make theory uncertain. Okay, so it is not the intention of Shadvad. Whatever is being said from particular point of view, that is fixed and certain. For example, soul is eternal, permanent from substantial point of view, and there is no other view about it. In all the three times, it will always be eternal from substantial point of view. It will never going to change.
We can debate it, but I am putting that under Naivad and not under Syadvad.
See, Naivad is the base of Anikantvad and also the Shadvad. That whatever we are talking in particular context, in particular reference. But it doesn't mean that that thing is uncertain.
I'm not saying that anything is uncertain. I am saying that the truth itself is not one. You can't say universe is made this way. This is one way. There is another way the universe is made also, or another universe is made. Or you can have the same law differently operating under different circumstances.
Yeah, that is true.
So we'll come to you because we'll come at the end, because this requires, I think, a long debate. But this particular thing, I'll remind you, which is taken from Acharya Amrit Chandra. So I have full faith in it. कि जो सदा नियम का निषेध करता है, it denies that there is a single law. और निपात रूप से सिद्ध है, means it is unfallible. The only thing unfallible, everything else falls under certain conditions or under certain context. But जो निपात रूप से सिद्ध है, which is absolutely correct, that is called Syad. And that proves that everything is relative. There's no viewpoint coming into it. So what you said is the general opinion of many people, and I think many people have written about it, but we'll come to this because it requires big debate at the end. So I'll continue to proceed with these little remarks. Then what is this non-absolutism? No proposition is absolute or complete truth, or there is no one truth. No proposition is completely true, because deeper one goes, and I'll come to this particular thing, more revelations will be there. Nature exists at multiple layers, and some parts of truth, that is its properties or iska swabhav, always remains hidden or indescribable. And Bohm called it implicate order. And I'll give an example a little later. So no proposition is absolutely or completely false. No proposition is absolutely or completely true. Some amount of truth exists in every realization or proposition. This is how I describe it. Now, coming to perspectivism, because Anekantvad has been confined to your perspective. That is not the only thing, I would say. And a classic example of elephant and all that I am not going to give. But this is the idol of Aryan. And you can look at from various points, from top, from front, from back, from whatever angle, and you will find different views. That is Naivad. There is only one object, there is only one truth, but you look at the observer comes here. So as I explained in the beginning, Naivad is based on observer. Anekantvad is based on the object, and Syadvad is based on the knowledge. So this is how we ought to define it. And of course, I come to this painting by Aisha. If you ask, I am now coming to Saptabhangi, that is the application. So Anekantvad is not just a Saptabhangi. That I think was conveyed in many talks and in many books. Of course, I'm not an authority on that. You must forgive me for that. But what is it? It is a fish or a bird or a white or a blue, or you can explain it in 7 ways. It is going to the left or to the right or flying or on the sea. So he created this painting and I like it very much. He calls it fishes and birds, but what is it? You can't say. So you can say it has 7 answers. So everything has 7 states of existence or manifestation. So this is called a Saptabhangi. Now, this Saptabhangi is very useful in solving paradoxes. And I have taken just one example here of the paradox of this Theseus ship. There is a ship and is parts, various parts, its sail and its other parts are one by one taken out and another ship is formed. Then the question is this ship same as the first one? Now, this you cannot say it is not the same ship, because first the windshield was taken off, then the whatever other parts they. So it is not the same ship, but still it is the same ship. So you want to say this, then you have to define the context. So from material point of view, it may be the same. From a performance or utility point of view, it may be the same, but it is not the same because they built a new ship out of the parts. So there are many such examples, Liar's paradox and so on, but you can explain all these. So now I come to application, and I made this statement before that you cannot stretch to include falsehood, that I say it is black and you say it is white and this is Anekantvad. I think this is only nonsense. Anekantvad does not permit falsehood to be a part of it. So one has to go at the end of the logic. You have to use logic to find what is the truth. Go to the end when you exhaust all the logic totally, then what is left, on that you can apply Anekantvad. So it cannot be applied to gross phenomena, but only to subtle phenomena. And of course, it has a lot of applications in religious pluralism, personal, family, social, national, international relations. But it has been so heavily trivialized, this Anekantvad, that is only confined to this. And we have forgotten that it has tremendous potential of mathematical development. And of course, this was discussed many times, so I will not come to it. Dr. D.S. Kothari found a similarity between quantum physics and Saptabhangi, and he took a particle in 2 boxes, which is divided by a wall with a hole. And because of this arises actually because of particle duality. It is not arising out of if it is in a single box, it will not work. But anyway, it may be a particle, may be a wave because of duality, maybe in this box, maybe in that box, maybe neither because it is a wave, it has gone outside. Maybe it is called a vehicle. Maybe the original thing is a vehicle, made of a wave and a particle, and we see it now as wave and now as particle, depending on what it is. So that wavicle is not describable, it is undescribable. So he has found, he has got the quantum mechanical solutions and found a similarity between the two. And now I come to, I think I am most impressed by the work of G.N. Ramchandran, who wanted to develop a septennial logic, that is 7-step logic. You know, as we discussed before, the computers are working on binary system, yes or no, and now the quantum computers have come, and those quantum computers have this septarian logic, but of course Haldane gave the solution. I am not going to go into this. I don't know how much time I should talk, but Dev Kumar Saab can stop me anytime. So now this also brings to choice or predetermined sequence. Predetermined sequence is Krambadha Paryaya and choice is free will. Now they are complementary. Whenever I discuss it with some people, they say, how can both be possible? How can you have free will, do what you want, and still it is all predetermined? So I think this can be explained because the same enigma exists in physics. At gross level, the world is deterministic. Your car moves exactly the way it should move, deterministic. It is going at 60 miles per hour, then it will reach a particular point after 1 hour. So you can determine its future, you can predict its future, and you also know its past. But this is not true at the quantum mechanical level, because world is there is probabilistic, and that is where this Saptabhangi comes in. Now, I will not elaborate it further, but I will come to this main thing which we want to do, and if there are any volunteers, because I am not very strong in these things, but we should take it forward. I think it is only in the Jain scholarly society, academic society, that we say Anekantwad is a great concept. Nobody in the world knows about it. Nobody cares about it. And I think this has to be brought up, and I think this is one of the things JAS may like to do. So how to formulate this? And this is very fantastic, that any function includes its opposite. That is how we have to formulate it. The opposite is a part of it. You say I am wrong, and that also becomes part of this thesis that yes, that is only complementary. So this need to be formulated, and it is complete in itself, and this defies Gödel's, we discussed Gödel's incompleteness theorems briefly. We can talk more about it. So according to this Anekantwad, there is no incompleteness. The Gödel has said that you can't understand a system, a set within itself. You have to go out of it to a bigger set and so on. That does not exist here. That is falsified if you formulate that a particular function O of M includes itself and its opposite. So total Anekantwad can be defined as essence plus a mode, Paryay, which changes with function of time, plus Naivad, that is the, actually it should have been theta, but I couldn't correct it. So Naivad is the viewpoint, the angle with which you look at it, and the Syadvad, the truth, which depends on space, time, viewpoint, and size. So the whole Anekantwad can be formulated like this. And if anybody is interested, I would like to develop it further. I think Ramchandran left it at four-step logic, but we should take it further to this 7-step things. So anyway, now I come to a couple of more slides and I'll stop in a few minutes. Physics divides the universe in 2 parts, micro and macro. The macro is governed by classical deterministic mechanics. The whole is a sum of parts. If I know in this room there are, or in my pocket, I keep on putting 1 coin every day. Then at the end of 10 days, I'll have 10 coins. This is not true in probabilistic regime. If I put 10 electrons, 1 electron every day, then at the end of 10 days, I will not have 10 electrons. I may have less or I may have more. So this is all the quantum mechanics about. And the whole is not sum of parts. The quantum world processes occur in steps anyway. So this is the point I made. And I wanted to come back to this point which was questioned before, that we have a particular thing, we have a table, it has certain attributes. It has color, size, weight, material and all that. But only when we go to finer and finer stages, we go to nuclear level, atomic level, molecular level, we find new parameters. For example, at the gross level, we have mass, size, vibration, and modes. I mean mass and size. But as we go to electron level, we have charge. The charge is not seen in the table when it is gross. We have the dual nature of particle wave. We have spin. We go further, then we have strangeness, isospin, parity. I think those of you who are familiar with physics will appreciate. And then we go to quarks. Then we have 6 types of quarks. All these come as you go deeper and deeper, and maybe further if you go to Parmanu stage, you will find new attributes. So what I want to say is that this is Anekantavad, that you go deeper and deeper, you will find more and more properties, and that is the multiplicity of modes. And I end up with this painting by Manju Nata. She showed me, she has written a book on, painting book on, she has a collection of paintings on Anekantavad. And as it is said that Mahavir Swami saw, after he got enlightened, or in that night, he saw a bird with 7 feathers. And this is Saptabhangi. And she painted this bird. The wings are different and so on. And such birds do not exist in nature, but this is how the nature is. So even if you don't agree with me, you have to admit I am right because of Anekantavad. Thank you very much. I stop here, but I very much appreciate, I would very much appreciate if there's some discussion and we can have a team to work on it and take it further and present to the world what Anekantavad really is and what are its potential and how it can be used in daily life. Thank you, Dr. Dev Kumarji. I think I have taken too much time, but I'll stop here.
Wonderful elucidation, sir. Thank you very much. Of course, you are a master in physics and the science related. I think personally, I believe first few slides have some English as to possibly, if you do not agree with me, that some of the statement leads to more of Samshayavad. So I think we will work on it. We will take the slides and I'll send it to you across. I think I say Vandami to Pujya Samaniji. Thank you so much. You have joined us. You are enriched us. That's the reason I wrote on the slide that seeing your article, I thought Samaniji could be starting off, flagging off, because some of the fundamentals, I believe that seems a little bit confusing. No impure, purity, etc. But I'll not get into that. I'll allow the floor to take over. And I would request first Samaniji to intervene and elucidate us. And of course, science part, he is the master. We cannot comment out it. Excellent. That is the point. So this floor is open to all. First, I'll request Pujya Samaniji to take it up.
So it was really very excellent talk. And yes, there are certain points we have to be very much clear and what I am thinking, because I couldn't join in the starting. So some points I missed. Just when I saw that pure and impure, so we have to see that each and every reality, whether it is pure, whether it is impure, all are multidimensional. This is pure doesn't mean that it is not mixed with other things, or it has no other attribute than what it only the single attribute it has. Pure may be that pure is not mixed with others, that is true, but still it is having infinite attributes, whether it is pure soul of Siddhartha or whether it is single atom. So all are having infinite qualities, infinite attributes, infinite modes in itself, because it is existing eternally, permanently, and that's why it is undergoing changes at every moment. So it has several attributes in different times, in different contexts, in relation to different entities. So it is not that the pure things are not having such qualities, and it is not that the impure things only are multidimensional. So one thing this, and second is that whatever we are talking under Anikant, Shadvad or Naivvad, all are a kind of realistic view. They are explaining reality and not something which is imaginary or purely subjective. When we talk of Anikant, we are talking about the multi-dimensional, all the different dimensions of one and the same reality together, that is Anikant. And when we are talking about Shadvad, then Shadvad is meant for giving priority to one aspect, keeping all other different dimensions in margin. We are not overlooking, we are accepting at the same time. That's why Shadvad is also having a kind of a non-absolutistic approach. And it is said that whenever we are talking or explaining any multidimensional reality, we have to talk in the language of Shadvad. So in that expression, we are just keeping one aspect in focus and all other aspects in what we say margin. So we are recognizing all different other aspects together when we are explaining one. And there is one sutra in Tattvartha Sutra which is called Arpita Narpit Siddhe. Whenever Shadvad explains any reality, it gives preference to one and keep other aspects in margin. So it is having eye on those aspects also together when it is explaining one. So that is the approach of Shadvad. And the Naivvad is not pure subjective. If you have seen the definition, Siddha Sen Gani Divakar, Siddha Sen Gani, who is the commentator of the Tattvartha Sutra, so he speaks that truth is multidimensional, and it is also a kind of what we say indivisible reality in itself. But to explain or to what we say to explain to the listener or those who want to know it, we divide into different realities so that the reader or the listener can understand things in its holistic way. So truth is undividable, indivisible, but we can explain it from different angles to make it understandable to others. So that is, there is one definition which is given by Acharya Tulsi in his text, philosophical text, which is known as Illuminator of Jain Tenets. So in this book, he is talking that what we say, Vastansha Grahi Nai. It means the one part of reality is taken into consideration in Nai. All other different aspects are not touched or not even what we say rejected, but they are not also taking into consideration at the particular moment. So Nai is not purely subjective view. It is also an objective view. Yes, the observer is taking just one aspect and it is not going to other aspects, and also not denying the other aspects. So in that sense, I say that Nai is also an objective view. Yes, the observer is also involved in the sense that he is taking particular view, or particular he's perceiving the reality from particular angle, or just taking one aspect of reality. And that's why it is said that there is some involvement of observer or some role of observer, but it is not purely subjective. So these are my observations about the, what we say, presentations given by Dr. Bhandari.
Thank you, Samani-ji. I am very orthodox Jainist fellow. So in fact, I made presentation after Purviji said, you'll have to continue. In fact, I have got some 20-odd slides. If time permits, I can just run through some of the points Professor Bhandari has already said, and you also covered it fine. I think absolutely you said it. Is a multi-dimensional one, has to be looked at one at a time. If you're a doctor, you are a cardiologist, you look at the heart, but an ophthalmologist will look at the eyes. So it's a kind of multi-dimensional. We must be very clear about it. There is no samshaya at all. There's not multiple, no truth, except some of the statements have been little confusing. I'm sure he will edit it there, and once he agrees, he will edit it. Professor Bhandari sir, we want to add, and otherwise we can ask others to join.
I just wanted to, I mean, of course, Samani-ji has explained very nicely, and I'm grateful to her for elaborating these things very clearly. I agree with her fully that truth is multidimensional, and that is Syadwad. That one statement says it all about Syadwad. But Nayavad is subjective and Syadwad is objective, or it is about the truth. So these three things I think she has explained very well, and I agree with it. So I can only express my gratitude for clarifying the.
If you permit, I think she mentioned the respected what do you call it? Siddhasen Divagar Ganiji. Siddhasen Divagar Ganiji and Samadvata Swami are almost counterparts. They really contributed both to system of it. I just wanted to show only one slide before, if you kindly permit, and then we'll move on. This is the slide I wanted to show. I hope you are able to see.
No.
You are able to see now?
No, you please put it on the screen.
Okay. Can you see now?
No.
You are not sharing.
Share the screen.
Okay. Sorry. I need to share. Yeah. I need to share. Yes. Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the fundamental part we have to understand. According to Jainism, there is from Apta Mimamsa. Just let me. Apta Mimamsa. I think from the Divya Dhvani, or even otherwise, very good dialogues. I mean, Professor Sushma ji also joined. When he is talking to Gautam, and he says, true soul is eternal and non-eternal, etc. Both ways, Vibhajyavada. Here is what is the fundamental Apta Mimamsa by Samadvatra Swami. Here is the Karika. Syadvada Kevala Jnane Sarva Tattva Prakashine Veda Sakshat Che Hi Avastu Anyatamam Bhavet. That is, iske alawa koi vastu nahi hai. In the sense, Syadvad is a mining tool. Kevala Jnana doesn't need Syadvad, because the Kevala Jnani Tirthankar has to tell us by using the words, he uses the tool of Syadvad. It's something like a paragraph. You are telling a story. Each sentence is a part of the Syadvad. It is continuous. I mean, I have some 20 slides, but I will not go into this. I think we need to get to the fundamentals clearly. And this is a basic one. I'm sure we will get the counterpart. That is Syadvad and Kevala Jnana. One is Sakshat, another is Asakshat, that is Kramabhat, as you said, one after another. So we need to know that it is a mining tool, basically, Syadvad, or are you telling tool part of it? Each analyst part of it. With this, I'll again open it to floor. My slide can wait. Once Bhandari sir permits, maybe we can have another day's lecture, a comprehensive lecture on this, so that we can have discussion on this. So I request the audience to take it up. Then of course, then we have.
Bhandari sir, can we have the very first slide?
Oh, this is not the first slide. It is in between slide. Yeah.
No, I'm talking
Can
to
I
Dr.
say
Bhandari.
can I say something?
One who is calling you talking? Shishirji, yes. I think we'll first take Kachara sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Kachara sir, wants to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Bhandari, can you show the very first slide?
Yes, sir. I'll try. Let me go on the screen again. This is the first slide.
No, the next one. Next to
this
the
one.
second one. Yeah, this one.
Okay.
Now here, you have shown observer, which is Gyata, and then object you showed Gye Anekantva, then in between you say knowledge. Is that right?
Right.
So knowledge is nothing different from the Gyata, you know.
No, that is the truth. As Samniji said, truth is multidimensional. That is what it means.
No, but Gyan and Gyata, you know, Gyan is with Gyata. Gyan is not separate from Gyata. No, you say Gyan here intermediate, and there are three.
I'm saying
reals.
observer who tries to know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gyan,
but you said three
when-
reals. Three reals.
When Kachara Sahab, when a man becomes a kevli, then observer and object both disappear, and only knowledge remains. This is how I would like to
No,
put.
all three merge, you know. Then the
Uh-huh.
Gyan, Gyata, and Gye, all three merge in Keval
Merge,
Gyan.
right?
But yeah. But otherwise also, Gyata, Gyan is with Gyata, you know. It's not a separate reality as you have shown. You saw three reals, so we get an impression that, you know, knowledge is a separate reality, which is not correct.
My knowledge, I mean, we can debate it. I think what you said is correct. I mean, but what I want to say is also, I mean, that I may know a thing in a, but there is more to know. That is the knowledge. Knowledge is bigger than the knowledge with the observer. So when one attains Keval Gyan, then what you say is right. But when one is not a Keval Gyani, then I think what I say is right. This is how.
No, even people like us, you know, who are Mati Gyani and Shruta Gyani, the Gyan is part of Gyata, observer, you know. The Gyan does not have a separate reality. Somebody will can
Instead of Gyan, we can call it truth or.
Okay, Bhandari ji, in Jain metaphysics, we talk about the three types of realities. One is substance, other one is mode, and third one is, you can say, quality, fundamental quality or natural quality or innate qualities of the things. So, for example, knowledge is the quality of soul. It is a fundamental attribute of soul. So these soul is a substance which is independent, while modes and qualities are dependent. They are not separate from the substance. So they have no separate independent existence. And that's why Professor Kachara is saying that since knowledge is the main fundamental attribute of soul, it is not separate from that. Yes, you are correct in that sense that it is a process of knowing that you are saying about knowledge. So that is a kind of process of knowing of anything, but that is not separate from soul. Soul is putting this power to know an object outside or itself.
Yeah, I think what you said is very clear and
Yeah. So it is not an
Fantastic.
independent reality. It is not independent reality. It is existing as attribute or quality of soul.
I'll think about it, how to put it. But I say that there is one knower and one object, and what goes on between them, the exchange, is the knowledge. So
See,
this is schematic. I mean, just to explain. But in the absolute sense, maybe you, Kachara Saab, can write a paragraph and we
suppose
can
if there is
understand
no,
it better.
I would
suppose
rather
if-
say it is a Samaniji, very
Yes.
nicely Kachara Saab has pointed out, the in between that arrows is a mining tool, knowledge mining tool actually. Sadhvata is a mining tool. It is the way. Yeah,
May I
it's
intervene, sir? Dev Kumar ji.
that is fine.
May I intervene?
1 minute, sir. LC Jain sir, 1 minute. Sushil Rai ji wanted to come in. Then we'll
Okay.
take it one after. Yeah. So Sushil Rai ji, please.
Yeah, I have some queries and some questions. When you say that reality is uncertain, do you mean that it is intrinsic or ontic? This is, I say that there are two kinds of randomness. One is ontic, another is epistemic. So in quantum mechanics, it is ontic, randomness or indeterminism. So what happens to Jain philosophy, Sadhvad? And you know Prashanta Mohlanovich, he tried to build up in like a statistical approach for Sadhvad in 1940. And second thing, I do not agree with Dr. Kothari's picture because in quantum mechanics, the logic is 3-valued, not 7-valued logic. Because the group of modern logicians in Poland, they clearly showed that Saptabhanga is related to 7-valued modern logic in terms of modern logic. But in quantum mechanics, it's 3-valued logic. So how do you compare with that? It is confusing to me.
okay. So in Saptavangi also, there are original, what we say, combination and permutation. So 3 are the permutations and 4 are combinations. So originally there are 3 things and we are combining all the 3 and making 7.
But in terms of the modern logic, you can show it is 7, like Buddhist logic, it's 4-valued logic. So they have showed it is 7-valued logic in terms of the modern logics. So I don't know how to compare it with quantum things.
Okay.
Okay, I think Bhandari Saab will certainly send us all the thing part of it. Of course, he cannot be answering what Dr. Kothari Saab has done it. Kothari Saab felt it as a dual particle nature, dual theory of it. I agree with you. You are the experts. I think that will, the application part of it, I'm sure you can all take it up through the email also, or we can put it to question answer. There was another person who.
I think
Ji.
this is a very important point what Dr. Shishir Roy has raised. And I think we ought to clear it, how it is exactly. But he is the best person, as far as I know, to comment on this. I will think about it a little bit and come back maybe at some other time.
Yeah, maybe we can discuss later on through
Yeah,
emails.
sure. That is the way I think we'll carry further.
It will be, I don't know, Bhandari ji, if you have read the book which is written by Satkarni Mukherjee. and might be he has given some thought about it. Non-absolutism, the central philosophy of Jainism, non-absolutism, like Satkarni Mukherjee, he has presented an very logical manner.
दीक्षा कब दी जाती है मित्रों? दीक्षा हेतु आचार्य भगवान द्वारा उत्तम मुहूर्त शुभ योग में दीक्षा प्रदान की जाती है। साथ ही सूर्य ग्रहण, चंद्र ग्रहण, दुष्ट ग्रहण संयुक्ति,
There is some, who is speaking?
Okay.
Kindly mute it and one
Yeah.
at a time we can hear.
I will mute everyone now.
Thank you. I just wanted to share with you, I have a complete folder thanks to Professor Bhandari Saab on all this and even modern books, etc., including Mahaprajna ji and Tulsi ji and all. I can share through the Google on my folder. Anybody want to take it up further, you can do it. So much material I've got it. Thanks to Dr. Bhandari ji and Dr. Naveen Mehta Saab. Is there I think somebody else was raising it. Otherwise,
Pokhana sir has raised a hand.
Pokhana sir, please. आप तो co-author हैं.
Two different ways we are mixing them together actually. In science, we treat an observer as different from object. And then we say that there is a knowledge transfer going on from the object, say some electromagnetic wave reflected from an object and entering into the brain. So we treat here the observer as distinct entity from object. So observer and object are two different. So that is what I think Bhandari Saab has mentioned in the slide number 1. But in contrast to this, in Jainism, we say that knowledge is structured in the consciousness itself, in the soul itself. So you cannot make a distinction between, so sharp distinction between the two. This is the point I think which needs a lot of discussion. I mean, when we say that knowledge is structured in the soul, then how can you treat these two as different? I mean, so the question raised by Kachara Saab is very relevant in this context. So these two are different. These two are different. I mean, concept altogether. I mean, that is what I feel.
There is a very good statement by Swami Samudabhag. Pramanam is swapara prakashakam. Swapar prakashakam. The yourself, you yourself analyze yourself. So the object and the subject of inquiry are both could merge together because you are inquiring about yourself, the introspection, the preksha, the anupreksha, etc. So I think that can be merged. What you want to illustrate is how the threefold way one can understand it. We need not have to strictly go into that. Instead of calling it three different distincts, I thought I worked on a World Bank project called Digital Library. So we use a lot of knowledge mining tools. So I thought the Syadvada, even last time also said, is a mining tool basically. As Swaminiji put it, putting Syad as a prefix, we are analyzing each part in totality of that. There is no limit in analyzing a particular part. There is a perfection actually, but you are using Syad because other things remain in gone, mukhya or gone. There is a Sanskrit word. LC Jain Saab, unmute kariye. LC Jain Saab, you like to say something you wanted to say?
Unmute करिए आप, unmute. LC जैन साहब unmute करिए आप.
हाँ किया सर. Hello, आवाज आई?
हाँ.
This is with reference to the figure shown by Dr. Bhandari ji. There is one observer, then in between knowledge and then object. So actually what I feel Naresh Bhandari ji wants to express is that because object has multi dimensions and therefore where observer is grasping some particular aspect of the object, then the knowledge of the observer enhances. That is shown there. So knowledge, of course, Gyata and Gyan, they are together. But after receiving knowledge from a particular aspect, the knowledge is developed inside the brain of observer. I think that is the meaning of that figure. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong.
Thank you, sir, for your point of view. And I think now Professor Sushma Singhvi has joined us. She can give her point of view because in fact she is listed as one of the panelists. Sushma ji is there?
Yes,
I
she
saw her
joined.
joining. Yeah, okay, yeah, please unmute her. We thank her, she could join. That's very nice, yeah.
No, she has left.
Okay, so anybody else want to say our South Indian Tamil friends? Gunaji, Guna, Rajendran, or there are so many people. You can even tell in Tamil, I can translate it. Vinoda, there are a lot of people. I can see Sugandhi's sister. Anybody wants to say something, don't hesitate. Jay Kumar should participate. Arinjay Bhai Saab.
Shobha ji
So
has
anybody?
Shobha ji has raised the hand.
Shobha ji, Dr. Shobha Vardhamanan. Shobha Solunga.
Jai Jinendra to all of you. Sir, I'm a very, very preliminary student of Jainism. But when we studied Pravachan Sara by Acharya Kundakunda, we were taught there are three things. One is the jnana, that is the knowledge in the soul. The other is the neya, that is the knowledge which is knowable. And three is the knowable, that is all substances. And when we put this structure to what Dr. Bhandari said, it sort of fits in. That is the knowledge that is in the nyayak, that is in the soul, and the jnana, that is the Nyeya, that is in the Anekandvada, that is knowable, that is, it has multiple opinions, and the knowledge, the knowable of all substances, which is the Syadvada. This is what I understood from today's this thing, and I applied it with what I learned from Pravachan Sara. So I may be wrong, but this is how I interpret it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Quite right, Dr. Shobha ji. Again, I am reminding to all of you, Dr. Shobha is a medical doctor and proud mother of Abhinandan, our Veer Chakra winner, Abhinandan Vardhamanan. And so she has really Shobha Bada diya unhone. As per her name, she has added Shobha to here, Shobha Badadi. Thank you, Dr. Shobha is very quite right. I think first few slides, I think I too want to talk, but somehow I missed my writing pad. Kachara sab got one of them. Another one is, that are impure, pure, that already Saminiji has pointed out. I think we need to be very sure of the fundamentals. The one is fundamentals, another is application. Application is the domain of the experts. So we'll do that part. I'm sure we can be taking it further, and he is very receptive, Dr. Bhandari. That is very nice of it. Is there anybody else? Vinoda, you want to say something?
Pokarna sir has raised again.
Yeah, Pokarna sahab ka to floor open hai.
Yes,
Vinoda, you want to say something?
Now, there is
No,
another
Chittappa, it was
point of-
interesting to listen to them. It was a
Ah.
good opportunity for me to listen to them. We'll
Ah.
come back with questions next time, maybe. Yeah, it was
Oh,
nice, sir.
great,
Thank you for
great.
this lecture.
Vinoda is already doing MA Jaina studies. So I wanted her to, these people are. Guna, whatever you want to say something, madam? Guna is here.
Sir, Dr. Devakumar
Ah.
sahab, I want to say one thing.
Yes,
That, some points have been raised about clarification and fundamentals, as you summarized.
Ji.
That is okay, but can we spend some 10 minutes of how to take it further? I think that is the main objective of, this discussion.
Sure, sir.
So
Sure,
if
sir. I think
if somebody wants to say,
I'll comment about it. I'll ask the other valuable scholars to say. Kothari sir, yeah, Pokanna sir, we want to say something, then I'll join on this issue. Yeah, sure.
Another way of explaining it when we talk of this wave particle, this nature of electron. I mean, let us take another side of this whole thing. We suppose want to measure mass of an electron, or charge of an electron, or spin of an electron, or magnetic moment of an electron. Okay, in each of these four cases, we put instruments which are specific for measurements of these four different properties. So when we are measuring, say, spin, then we are ignoring mass, say, for example, because it is the capability of the instrument, it can measure only spin. So at that particular time, we have to use Syadvat, whether spin is half or minus half or something like that. Or in the same way for different measurements also, for that particular measurement, we cannot say about any other attribute of this electron dynamic. So the role of instrument is very distinct, and that should be, I think, appreciated. So this example may explain this thing in a slightly better way.
No, that is exactly Bhandari Sahib was coming to that what are the ways we can go for application of it in a different field of it, in fact. Because a lot of tensions, I know from Tamil Nadu, you say that even how to sort out issues, point of view at home, there's a lot of debate and, discordance. I have taken it up in Tamil Nadu in my audios, and I am told that a lot of at home people are very much more peaceful. Even it starts with, because I use the word of the point of view, looking at it from point of view, that is very fundamental. At home it starts. Now coming to Bhandari Sahib, you are very right, sir. I think Pokanna Sahib, even for a Tirthankar, putting it into Bhasha Vargana, yes, the Divya Dhwani is Bhasha Vargana. Bhasha, we're converting the knowledge into Bhasha, language, expression, there is a limitation. That is the reason he told Gautama, you follow one after another. The Syadvada came from there actually. That's why I showed the Aptamimamsa basic fundamental. Syadvada is, again I repeat, you can ask me 100 times, it is a knowledge mining tool actually, putting it one after another. Like Bhandari Sahib talked about slide 1, slide 10 is waiting in queue to add to the strength of that slide. So that is what we have to understand. So Bhandari Sahib, I was wondering, I take that next maybe another round. I would like to come and take it only from the epistemological Jaina point of view, Jainological point of view. All these things, your slides will be useful to me. Or maybe Kachara Sahib or Samaniji can come forward. I thought first and foremost, let us completely clear all the doubt about this intricacies of Anekant Bhat interlinked to Sadhva. There are 7 Nayas in Tattva Sutra. We have not even touched that. Naikam Naya, Shabda, Sabda Naya, etc. So we need to link that. So if someone could come for 2-3 people can join, make a presentation purely from Jainology point of view. Application can be taken by others, Shishir Rai and others. So you are asking how to go forward. It is my humble submission. Samaniji can strengthen our submission part of.
Yeah, you are right. First, we have to understand how Jain philosophers, acharyas have seen these principles, how they have explained in their original text. And there are Anekanta Jayapataka, if you have seen that book. So that might be written by, I'm not just remembering the author, but Anekanta Jayapataka, like this, the text have already been written down. So it explains the whole concept in a very clear language, that what Anekanta is. And yes, Naivat, there must be one presentation on 7 Nayas, as Professor Devkumar has said. So that what Hariji was talking about micro and macro level studies, how they come into differences because of the level differences. So similarly in Naivat also we see that Nigam Nai see at macro level, and the Evambhut Nai goes to the micro level. So, and all 7 Nayas differ in their opinions, in their views, when they approach one and the same reality. So we have to see that from different angles, on different levels, you may have different observations about the same reality, and they all may be true. Not it is not that it is subjective and that's why it may be wrong. No, it is not. If we are perceiving things from Nai point of view, Nai is also an objective study of an observer. We have to say like this. It is an objective study of an observer. So yeah, Naivad would be better. First, we have to understand that theory because Naivad is the base of Anekant and Sharda. If we are approving the single-sided view, which is also true, partial true, then we can accept this Anekant and Sharda.
So the definition in Sanskrit is Ekadeshu Nayaha Sakaladeshu Pramana. So I think we'll have to understand same thing. We are looking at a different point of view. And so I am sure if it is properly put in a very genealogical point of view, what all is being said very clearly, fundamentals, without any iota of doubt, then we can think of going further into the application part of what is all available. I like to share a book. I found it just once, yeah. Not this one, sorry. I just stopped that. There is one more.
And okay, Jinesh Seth has also shared the link.
Now, there is what happened, there is a Naveen Institute in Ahmedabad, as I understand. In 1993, they organized a conference, Multidimensional Applications of Anekantvad. It's a beautiful book. I thought each one of us should go through and then take it forward. So I want to share it. In fact, the mail is pending. I'll share it through the mail. It is in 1993, a conference, multiple people came forward and wrote on justice, where the Anekantvad can go into that. Because United Nations, we should send a recommendation how to take it to multilateral talk. There are so many issues, the terrorism, etc., etc. I am sure that there could be one round table. One is on basic fundamentals of Anekantvad from Jaina point of view. Second one is what are the scope of its applications, as Dr. Bhandari has shown one or two application part of it, how to take it forward. I feel there is so much of United Nations. I worked with United Nations. There are aspects we should take some of the charter and compare it with ours, and we can even send to them from the JAS that this needs to be looked into this way. I feel there is a lot of scope. Why should we allow only Buddhists to go on and the yin and yang, etc.? Jainism should be taken. For that, we should be very clear what we are talking. That is what my only appeal is about. Is there anybody else who wants to join?
I just want to give one information. We are talking of applications of Anekantvad, and the application of Anekantvad in a day-to-day life, in our own personal life and so on. Dr. P.M. Agrawal has written a beautiful book on that, So if, that can be considered, is without going into the complexity of the Prakrit words, in a very simple language for a layman to understand. He has described what are the utilities on our own life, of this principle of Anekantvad, this beautiful book. So we can recommend it, for general reading. It's a good book.
Yes, sir. It is in there, my folder. I told you that. I want to share with you. I talked to Professor Agrawal Saab. I said, why don't you come and share your point of view? He said, I cannot sit for all that 1.5 hours. It will not be proper on my part to only share my views and go. And he says he is going to follow our proceedings very carefully. He is really our learned professor. I think we'll take it forward. Yes, I saw his beautiful prescription on that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So Suramanjiri Ramdas has sent a message here. I see in the chat box. I'll read it out for you. Suramanjiri can also say Anekantvad concept is an eye opener for all aspects of our day-to-day life, for both spiritual as well as social and scientific inventions. This is my point of view, sir. So she has put it very clearly, and people have been motivated, sir. I should congratulate you, Professor Bhandari. Down south, you could influence people thinking that the wide horizons of the application of Anekantvad. And so let us understand very clearly what is Anekantvad. And once for all, we write a knowledge paper on that. And then we allow that application, as Naveen Mehta Saab has done it, application can be infinite in that sense of every field, even in law and justice, human rights, etc., etc. Samaniji has written, of course, I think here is from Malaysia. Dr. Chaitanya Prakash is a spiritualist. The excellent session. It is really an eye opener. He is going to be a monk now soon. He's a Hindu, but very much influenced by that. So he has also written. Shobhaji again has written, sir, thank you very much for an inspiring talk. I am also a student of MA Jaina Studies in the University of Madras. So he helps me a lot. So you can see that you could reach far and wide, sir. There is again very informative session. Another, I think it is Vinoda, I think. Yeah. So this is all from the chat box.
It is Dharmasri Chittappa. It is Dharmasri.
Okay, Dharmasri has also joined. Okay. Thank you. They are my niece. Both the niece are doing MA Jaina Studies.
Four students have joined from MA Jainology for this lecture today. Myself, Dharmasri, Shobha Aunty, and Mr. Suresh Kumar.
Okay. Just see, sir, Bhandari Sahab, you see the way you are reaching. Very reaching the unreached, breaching the barrier. Yeah, is there anybody else who wants to join, please?
Sir, my objective is that out of these so many experts here, can we, we'll clarify all the questions, but can we form a group who will study and take it further? And I am prepared to have a special issue of our proceedings just devoted to
one second, sir.
Anekantvad.
Guna Rajendran wants to say something. She is another great expert from our field there. Yeah,
No,
Gunaji. Solunga.
Thank you so much, sir. Being a part of this group, enlightening one, I learned a lot. Thank you very much, sir, being a part of
I
this
like
group.
to introduce
Anekantvad, philosophy of poise. Yes, sir.
Guna, I want to introduce her. She is a daughter of Professor Sri Chandran, who himself is an institution in Jainology. He has enriched so much of Tamil field, and a lot of non-Jains could understand what is Jainism because of Professor Sri Chandran. Sri Chandran, incidentally, has been my teacher in JM Jain College. So Guna is worthy daughter of Professor Sri Chandran. Thank you, Gunaji, for your very valuable comments.
Okay, thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I understand I have a long way to go in all these areas. More I listen, more I hear, more I read, I understand how much less I know. Thank you so much, sir.
Again, Chaitanya Prakash ji has written, so far I thought it is only non-one-sidedness doctrine, or the, what is that? Sir, ni sollungalan. Chaitanya Prakash, can you just say what you want to say? He is from Malaysia. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Just I want to tell you, sir, so far what I thought, this Anekvada is only non-one-sidedness or the doctrine of not one side. And I'm always having the example of the blind people are touching the elephant and all these things. But today it's become very big eye opener for me. It is not just like this, it's a lot of meanings. And it is not the Vedic side or modern side, it is for the futuristic also. And personally, it's really helping me to really mobilize a lot of things in my life. And also it's personally helped me to understand what is my inner life and how I will attain the pure soul. It's very good. And this session is very good session. And I would like to congratulate all of the very big pioneers in this field. I am the very chota person in this. I don't know a lot of things, but it's really eye-opener for me.
Dr. Chaitanya Prakash is a very well-known educationist from in Malaysia. And of late, he has joined last 3 years. He's going very strong. He is a Hindu by birth, but going by so much reading into religion. So Bandari Sahib, I think you can see how gifted you are. You can invite part of it. Now coming to the one.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Jioraj
sir.
sir has raised the hand.
Who is that?
Jioraj sir. Jivraj sir.
Yeah, please,
Jivraj
please.
Jain.
Acha, okay, please, sir, go ahead.
Thank you for giving me the time. Dr. Shishir Roy, he raised the point there are 3 and 7 nails. 3 in science, quantum mechanics, and 7 in our Jain philosophy. So is it, I mean, there are in Jain philosophy also, we have got substance nails. Means viewpoint from the substance viewpoint, these are 3. And then mode viewpoints, there are 4. So probably in science, they are taking only those 3 substance viewpoints, not of the modes. The modes probably they are neglecting at the point. This may be one of the probably explanations, 3 and 7. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for Sir Jivraj. So thank you so much. So, you know, now I see if no more queries and suggestions, I now request Dr. Bandari Sahib to maybe Samaniji to say something, then Bandari Sahib can conclude with the forward-looking suggestions. Now we have Dharmasri has written this. Multiplicity of modes of substance was a different explanation of Anekantvad and most agreeable rather than the usual explanation of Anekantvad. So multiplicity of modes of a substance was a different explanation of Anekantvad and most agreeable rather than the usual explanation of Anekantvad. You see that Dravya Guna Paryay, we should not forget, Samaniji was mentioning it, the attribute, the gun. Each gun has got infinite paryay. So Dravya Guna, Dravya itself is Ananta Gunatmak, Ananta Dravyatma, Ananta Dharmatmak. Dharma means Ant, Anekant. Ant means a point of view, the gun. So yes, Dharmasri, it is Dravya Gun Paryay as Tattva Sutra, we read it in chapter 5. So each paryay is infinite because Ananta Ananta Paryay. Ananta Gun, each paryay has got, each guna has got Ananta Paryay. So there is no limit to exhausting in a particular one. Yeah. So Samaniji, you want to say something? Then we'll give the roadmap. We'll go to Dr. Bandari Sahib. Certainly has something in mind. So we will think of the making committee and etc. I'm sure Bandari Sahib will be elucidated. Anil Sen Sahib, आपने कुछ बोला नहीं. ये सही नहीं है, मौनम सम्मतम नहीं है. कुछ बोलिए.
Thank you very much.
Right.
वो आपने जो पॉइंट आउट किया था वो मैं उससे सहमत हूँ कि मतलब if we are clear in our concepts, मतलब basic concepts should be clear, then we can build our any building. So sometimes I feel that we are confusing some of the things. Just for example, Krambad Paryay does not play anything in Anekantvad and other things. And there are examples for clarification for Nevad and Syadvad. For Nevad, there is very beautiful example of elephant we know. For Syadvad, just like this, one person is son, at the same time he is father, at the same time he is brother. So when somebody is telling he is father, it does not mean that he is not having other property of brother, son, etc. It means this is, you can explain this with Syadvad. And Syadvad and Saptamangi is one and the same thing. And so some of the things we should clear. So then we can definitely move faster. Thank you, sir. This much only. Later on, we will discuss later on. No problem.
Thank you so much. I've got 21 slides I brought because Purviji said the show must go on. Then I rushed up, prepared 21 slides from what the material I circulated from Jainendra Siddhanta Kosh. That's the reason I gently reminded to Dr. Bandari Sahib, I know you're an expert on your subject. On Jainology, I think we need to bring the Pramana or the Sutras and Karikas into picture. and once for all says very clearly. It's a beautiful one, actually. I know he has looked at it 3 ways, putting it as 3. I think I worked with the World Bank project. I could know that immediately. I know it is not knowledge, it is knowledge mining tool, actually. Syadvad is from Vakta point of view, it is Syadvad. He wants to take one after another and explain it. He just has a diagram, explains one after another. We will take it up. I'm sure with Bhandari Sahab will permit me to come on board and make a presentation. Others can also join. Thank you so much. Now, Samaniji, you want to say something?
Okay. So just Bhandari ji is curious about how we this topic should be taken further. So it is Bhandari ji who has already presented, and yes, I know that what Bhandari ji is talking, he is also taking into consideration some probable issues, probable aspects of reality which are still undetermined in a given moment. So that is also a way of understanding Anekan. It is not that what he has presented, that is not that cannot also be considered. So looking at the probable or undetermined aspects of realities, that can also be a good interpretation what Bhandari has given. Yeah, and I don't think that anything I have to say other than what I have said. And just one thing, when he's quoting the slok of Syadvad, Nipat, so Nipat is a category, it is a category of words. Nipat does not mean unfalling. Nipat is a category of words in Sanskrit language or Prakrit language, which has no grammatical explanations or grammatical rules to prove how this word is coined. So that's why it comes into the category of Nipat words. And meaning of this particular word is Anekan. Shat is used in the sense of Anekan. So that is the meaning, and we should not say that maybe. This may be the wrong interpretation. When we say maybe, it means we are not certain. So from a particular point of view, we are certain. And that's why the right way of putting this kind of statements is in some respect or in some particular context, you can say, and not maybe. So maybe makes uncertainty, and you are not going to take any kind of a certain decision, or you are not sure about what you are knowing. So that is not the right way to interpret the things, I think.
Thank you so much, Samaniji. Every time you say, we always get benefited. Absolutely, Nipat is the one, Anekant. That is a Vyakaran. We will take it. Takalanka has also come out. Jainendra Vyakaran also has got the meaning. It is not maybe. It is a particular context. Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav se हम एक लेके एनालाइज कर रहे हैं. ये तो हम बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. वो तो I think because of Kalushya Bhavana se uska Nagarjuna and other Shankaracharya condemned it, and Radhakrishna really put it in the right place. And now I see Dr. Sisodia Saab is here. You want to say something, sir? I saw him. Urviji, is he there or he left? I just now saw him.
Left.
Mahavirji. Okay, he was there. Okay, sir. Now Bhandari Saab, you made us to really, stimulating, as many people are written in the chat box. So many, 31 chats are there, not 31. I think the Purviji can share that. Yeah. Yes, sir, Bhandari sir.
I think many important points have been made by all the experts. I think the questions I have noted down from Kachara Saab, Shishir Roy, Pokharna Saab made very good comments. In fact, we are working together on this. And of course, Samaniji clarified many points, and there is Dr. Anil Kumar, and of course, everybody else, I can't remember the names. So we'll look into it, but my point is that we should have 2 or 3 roundtables. We would like to hear Dr. Dev Kumar and then Dr. P.M. Agarwal and others. And then after that, we should be able to form a group, not only for application is one aspect, but some kind of mathematical formulation for all these things. And I still would like to repeat that there is a lot of confusion about what Anekantvad is. Anekantvad is the totality plus one aspect of it. So we should not confuse that, I think, and we should use proper concept for proper explanation. So always this point whether the world is objective or everything is subjective, and all these things are very fundamental issues. So I hope we'll address to this, and I request Dev Kumar Saab to organize another couple of this thing, and then we may come to some clarity. And if we can, if this group as a whole can write an authentic version which is free of all confusions, no Sanshayavad, I mean, then I think that would itself be one good contribution, because it is being variously used in various ways, right or wrong. So I think that should be removed first, and then we'll come to take it forward. We need a leader and of course some workers, and I'm prepared to join anybody who wants.
Thank you, sir. Guna has raised a hand. Yes, Guna, please. Madam.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, we hear you.
Mayavad is a point of view. Objectives are just a point of view. Can you say in that case, a particular point of view, can you say Naya is absolutism?
That's what I use the word. Sarvar Siddhi says, Naya is Ekadesha Nayaha. Dharmacharmchandji is not here. And Sakala Desho Pramanaha. So I think in my, for now our president has permitted me, I'll bring all these facts on Nipad, etc., etc. We will have a very good presentation there. It could be available. I also request Bhandari Saab to share his slides so that people can also raise more points so that we'll have clarity, because he has done a lot of homework, Bhandari Saab, and we can put it, and that will be very nice that we will take it forward from there. Sugandhi sister, Yatha Solanama.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gunaji. Sugandhi madam, இருக்கீங்களா?
இருக்கேண்ணா.
சொல்லுங்க, ஏதா சொல்றீங்களா?
இல்லண்ணா.
Okay, wonderful. You know, today we touched 41. The attendance was 41. I was 42 rather. So amazing, Bhandari Saab. And with a short notice, there were 42 people coming and joining. And
it is all because of you, sir. You
no, it's नहीं. ये तो वक्ता के ऊपर है, वक्ता के वजह से है, वो magnet है.
No,
right, very good. नहीं, आपने बहुत ही, you know, I thought we gave up. Pokarna Saab, myself, we thought we'll have another day, because some of our panelists were not ready. Then मैं quickly कहा, आपके आदेश आया था, हमने कहा फटाफट मैंने एक ही स्लाइड बना लिया. But anyway, I thought it'll be another day, because मेरा एक स्लाइड तंग करेगा लोगों का, एक concept को लेना है. That will be good part of it. So I think
जी आप schedule करिए एक और round table to start.
हाँ जी, वो पूर्वी जी आपसे बात करके करा देंगे कि जब वो, और we will take it forward. I think it's so much. Each aspect. Other day, no karma, we talked. Harinjay ji every day talks about no karma. And each of the concept, I think we should bring it to the world. It is our duty. I really salute you on this part of it. So, yes, Madam Shobha ji, please keep us informed of such forums, please. So again, already Shobha Vardhamanan has already said that she should be informed. We will inform them, certainly. I think already 4 MA Jainology students have joined. More will certainly join. In between, I can always talk in Tamil and tell them it is required. Don't hesitate. Ravish Yashodharan, enna solringa? I see another person. Enna sir?
So we have Ashishaben here who is also working on this. So I would
even in Gujarati we can speak in between. No, language is not a barrier. Yes, solunga sir, Ravi sir.
Jai Janendra sir. Romba super program.
Thank you. Super program புரிஞ்சிடும் எல்லாருக்கும். Yeah.
அடிக்கடி இந்த மாதிரி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும், எங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிக்கலாம் நல்லது நம்மளுடைய இது பத்தி.
Wonderful. Bhandari Saab always does. He doesn't leave us. Yeah, sure.
So thanks to Bhandari.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Javi.
Thank you.
Okay, if no more discussions, then.
Sheshavan, you want to say something?
सबसे पहले तो बहुत अच्छा लगा कि एक मतलब सबने अच्छे से पार्ट लिया है और आपने इनिशिएटिव जो लिया और देव कुमार जी ने जिस तरह से उसको आगे बढ़ाया है दोनों बहुत अप्रिसिएबल है। हाँ सही में। और सन्मति तक का जो बात आई सिद्धेश्वर दिवाकर जी की, सही में ये बुक पढ़ने लायक है, उससे हमें काफी सारी क्लैरिटी आ सकती है। तो जो कंफ्यूजन्स पीछे की मतलब कैनोनिकल एज के बाद की जो बुक्स है उसमें ये सब कंफ्यूजन्स क्रिएट हुए हैं।
Can you talk in English because Sheshavan, because many people may not.
No, I'll explain to the no issue, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Asha ji.
Yeah.
Shesha ji, Asha Parik ji, जी.
Yeah. So जितने भी कंफ्यूजन्स क्रिएट हुए वो पीछे मतलब आगे जाके हुए हैं, तो पीछे चले जाएंगे तो काफी क्लैरिटी हो जाएगी ऐसा लग रहा है। तो सन्मति तर्क इज अ नाइस बुक टू रिफर। और आपने जी भी बताया वो भी सही है।
आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा, बिल्कुल सही कहा। आगे आके इनफैक्ट अपेंडिक्स 5 ऑफ जी बताइए सॉरी
दूसरी बात हमने निक्षेप को अभी मतलब इसमें इंक्लूड नहीं किया है। अगर निक्षेप तक चले जाते हैं तो थोड़ा सा अनुयोग और निक्षेप को इसको इंक्लूड कर ले तो थोड़ी क्लैरिटी और बढ़ सकती है, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है।
अनुयोग पूरा काली अभी हमने तो अनुयोग बात ही नहीं, सत्संग क्या क्षेत्र भाव काला है जो आप कह रहे हैं पूरा वो तो मैं कह रहा हूँ बहुत अनुयोग तो पूरा ऐसे
वो सारी चीजें इंक्लूड करेंगे तो काफी क्लैरिटी बढ़ सकती है।
बिल्कुल दैट्स द रीजन आई केप्ट ऑन टेलिंग व्हाट आर द डायमेंशंस ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल इन जैनोलॉजी इटसेल्फ, कितना उन्होंने आगे दिया था। जरूर कह रहे हैं, सही कहा आप। अच्छा, विजय महादेवी जी, विजय महादेवी ना சொல்றீங்க? Hello. Okay, I don't know whether she is there. All right. So I think we have really exceeded time. Almost we're going to be 2 hours. I profusely thank Dr. Bhandari Saab. Amazing. You are an excellent teacher. Very stimulating. You make it everything. Even you जानबूझ के आप controversial statement भी लगा देते हो ताकि we all carefully listen to that, you know. That is one thing. So without taking much of your time, पारिक जी बहुत बढ़िया। अब आशेषा या आशा, क्या नाम आपका? आशेषा जी। Okay, please madam come forward. Wonderful. You also come with some presentation will be good. That will be wonderful. Nice. Thank you so much. You really touched upon an important अनुयोग निक्षेप और का आपने बात की, बहुत बढ़िया अच्छी बात है। So I hope anybody else, otherwise we'll now end it with the Mangalacharan. Yes, Samani ji, thank you so much.
So yes, it is a really very brain stimulating lectures all the time Professor Bhandari gives. And we must be clear about all the doubtful things. And there is one text, Shantavad Manjari, somebody has seen it. उसमें ये सारे क्वेश्चंस भी दिए हैं अनेकांतवाद को लेकर के, जो भी ओपोनेंट्स के क्वेश्चंस हैं कि इट इज अनसर्टेनिटी एवरीथिंग, तो 8 प्रकार के जो दोष दिखाए जाते हैं, सो ही हैज गिवन आंसर्स टू ऑल दोस क्वेश्चंस। तो वो भी बहुत अच्छा टेक्स्ट है। प्रमाण नई निक्षेप, ये तीनों चीजों से को समझना जरूरी है। प्रमाण नई निक्षेप, और शिक्षा ने ठीक ही कहा कि निक्षेप को इंक्लूड करना चाहिए। तो ये तीनों दृष्टियों से समझने से बहुत कुछ क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी। मंगल पाठ। सत्तारि मंगलम अरहंता मंगलम सिद्धा मंगलम साहु मंगलम केवली कुंदत्तो मो मंगलम सत्तारि लोकोत्तमा हंता सिद्धा नरोत्तमा सत्तारि शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि अर्हन्ति शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि सिद्धि शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि साहु शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि केवली कुंदत्तं धम्मं।
Thank you very much, Jainam, Jai Sastram, Jai Jinendra. Thank you very much. भूल चूक के लिए मैं
Purvi ji,
क्षमा।
you have some
Jai Jinendra.
announcement to make?
Yeah. Our next lecture is on next Tuesday, that is 14th December, by Mr. Ramesh Bhai. He is from Rajkot. So I will send the circular for that.
I seek Michami Dukadam to all of you. कोई भी एज कर मुझे और मैंने anything I spoke, please kindly क्षमा कीजिए. Thank you very much. I think with this we can conclude
Thank you,
the
sir.
today's.
Thank you very much
party.
for
Thank you,
organizing it so well.
Thank you, Dev Kumar sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Jai
Purvi,
Jinendra.
Thank you, beta. Jai Jinendra, beta.